How's it going? Daggers, bows, swords, and in some cases destruction are the tools of trade for any assassin. But I thought it was overrated and inefficient. So, what better tool to use than the magic no one would expect? Can you beat the Dark Brotherhood with only restoration spells? So this time around there aren't that many rules, but I will need to make a worthy assassin for the task. And for that, we're just going to rearrange his genome with the sliders and create this. So lifelike. His healing magic is so potent that it burns. And what better name for someone with such a talent as Radiation Helper? And I can get into the rules. The goal is to complete the Dark Brotherhood questline. The only restriction to this is that I can only use restoration spells. What this means is that I can only cast and deal damage with spells in the restoration tab, meaning no weapons or other forms of magic are allowed. I must have agency. What this means is that every contract that I have from the Dark Brotherhood, I must be the main cause of death. No leading animals or trolls to my target. I must be the one to either land the final blow or cause the final blow. No followers are allowed. I cannot willingly use followers. Force followers are allowed, however. Lastly, no saving. I'm not allowed to manually save or save scum. And with all that squared away and my hands foolishly unbound, I go to the first set of Stormcloaks in the keep and get some early levels into restoration. However, it would seem my radioactive aura makes me impervious to blades. Or they just swing through me and hit Hadvar. Either way, I'm safe now. I continue my way through the rest of Helgen, much the same way, obtaining my first set of mage clothing, leveling sneak, and off I go into the wide open world. Before I can begin with the Dark Brotherhood, I have a few supplies I need to obtain. The first is a lot of gold, too much gold even, potions, and a very secret spell. Starting with getting gold, I steal all Alvor can give me, sell my gear, and head over to Whiterun, and talk to the Jarl. He refuses to let me sit on the throne, so I compromise. He kicks me out of his castle, so I help the local church get its amulet back, and get destroyed by some skeletons. Yeah, already dead, from skeletons of all things. This playthrough is going to be great. Lucky for me, I get the amulet, but the priest mysteriously disappears. Well, guess the holy relic is mine. I do some more odd jobs for some money, and make some potions both for use and money. Harvest cabbage. And head to Windhelm. Wait a second, this isn't Windhelm. My ability to read now in question. I head to the right city, and collect some more money before eventually talking to Aventus Aretino to actually begin the Dark Brotherhood questline. I join in the Windhelm mingling as to not arouse suspicion, and talk to the little boy with a murder contract. Love these new pastimes. Even though I have started the questline, I don't actually have any restoration spell that can deal damage. Now it's time to get that super secret spell, and for that I must jump on a boat and travel to Solstein, from the Dragonborn DLC. On arrival to the most accurate depiction of Detroit I have ever seen, I need to head to the bottom right of the island. It's a long journey, and it's made longer when a stray firebolt turns me into the ash the island is covered with. Making it to my destination this time round and speaking to Talvis. He doesn't know it yet, but he is going to make me the best assassin to have ever lived. I enter the mushroom home and talk to his master. When I leave, Talvis has a quest for me. He says that he didn't use protection while casting the spell, and now he has summoned an Ash Guardian and needs me to stop it. However, still no combat spells, so I get steamed and fall over in my forever sleep. This time around, I'm able to lead the Ash Guardian into some Reavers, which get eaten. But then I'm able to lead it into some Ash Spawn, and they're able to defeat the Guardian. I head back and take all of the credit. And with that done, I now have access to the spell I need. It's not here. Okay, so I think the issue is my restoration skill isn't high enough to be able to purchase the spell. So what better way to level my restoration than Bleakfall's Barrow? By what means, you ask? Well, taking a lot of damage is a really good reason, but after I complete the dungeon, I head back to Whiterun and pick up the fast healing spell and return to the code locked door. Every time I pull the lever with the wrong code, I get shot with poison darts, at my own rate and convenience. And safety, making it the best early way to level my restoration. Don't worry, the radiation sickness killed my pain receptors years ago. There we go, level 40 restoration, and it only took about an hour. And I head back to Talvis, and he finally sells me the spell I've been looking for. Poison Rune. Poison Rune is the single restoration spell in the game that can deal damage to living targets, and deals a whopping 3 damage a second. That's only 1 damage less than the worst weapon in the game. So efficient. I now have a way to deal with my targets. That's what I do. I head to Riften and find Grelod the Kind. I place the Poison Rune down, which takes up nearly all of my mana by the way, but the results are promising. I return to Aventus, and he gives me payment in the form of a dinner plate, eventually receiving a totally not nerve-chilling note. But as I no longer have nerves, I sleep and wake up in a shack in the middle of nowhere. A strange woman called Astrid tells me that I need to repay my debt of kill stealing by killing another. I try but cause some collateral damage. Everything being fine, however, I'm offered an invitation into the Dark Brotherhood. I waste no time and head into the sanctuary, getting my new assassin drip and introducing myself to the gang, and receiving my first set of contracts from Nazir. The first is Anodius Papias, Betrayal, and Narfi. The more gold the better, so I head straight to Papias and find him near a tent. This was messy. Very messy, in fact. So messy that after attacking, I'm stopped by a courier and have to wait for my mana to regen on a rock. And I have to do this for about 5 minutes. Well, that took way too long. So I get back to Bleak Falls Barrow and get shot repeatedly till I level my restoration to level 50 so I can halve the cost of the poison rune spell, effectively doubling my damage, as I can use the true strength of poison rune, its effect, to stack on itself. Also, in doing all of this, I've accidentally realized something busted about the poison rune spell. If I place the rune down and sneak, if I'm not seen when it goes off, I won't receive a bounty, but the person who detonated it will still chase me, so I can just run them out of town and deal with them away from prying eyes. With this in mind, I go finish my last contract, Narfi in Iverstead. He proves to be a bit more tricky, as he doesn't fight but instead runs away, so I need to be very careful not to catch anyone else in the blast zone. Not very easy when he runs into the most populated bar in town. But as a master cuck, I'm able to sit in the corner of the bedroom and watch until the poison takes over. And I head back to the sanctuary and collect my gold. And this time I have my first real contract. Also, a jester named Cicero is now here, but don't worry about that, he's not important. I head to Markarth and stop an assassination. Gotta corner the market, scarcity and all that. I talk to Muri, and she gives me my target, and an extra target. Now, I can just kill the main target and be done with it, but that wouldn't be in the spirit of becoming the greatest assassin, so I'm going to fully complete each contract. I head to the first target in a Dwemer ruin and sneak past the guards, only being noticed by everyone. So, in retaliation to their strikes, I eat 100 cabbages. But in doing this, I'm able to pull a lever and launch some pencils at my target, and he gets reduced to atoms. And on my second target, I'm back in Windhelm, and use the sneak rune to its full effectiveness, and manage to lead and bleed my target next to her home, without any witnesses whatsoever. Returning to collect my contract, I also receive her ring, which gives me a boost to alchemy. This will come very important, just you watch. I return to the sanctuary, where Astrid is waiting for me. I must spy on Cicero for treachery, but no, it turns out he was just talking to the Night Mother, which I would show you, but it's a little disturbing, so instead, here is this field of flowers. Ah, isn't that nice, with the creepy talking overlaid? Totally appropriate for the occasion. As it turns out, I am the chosen one. Skyrim loves this trope more than Disney. I'm told I must find Amand Motier. However, Astrid doesn't like this, and instead she sends me to do some more minor contracts. This is where everything goes downhill. The next quest is 2 contracts, one very easy one, and the other is a vampire. Well, that doesn't sound too bad, right? Well, that's because of one small missed details. Vampires are immune to poison damage. The only spell I have deals poison damage. I cannot kill the target. But Poison Rune is the only restoration spell that deals damage to living targets, right? Well, yes, this is true. But there are restoration spells that deal damage to non-living targets as well. And those spells are made specifically for dealing with vampires. So my new goal is to obtain one of these spells, but it's not that simple. To have access to these spells, I need to complete some quests in the Dawn Guard DLC questline. But unfortunately, the issues don't stop there. I need to get to a certain point in the questline, so I head straight to Fort Dawnstar, sign up to fight the Vampire Menace. I easily pass the initiation, which is just talking. I mean, would you say no to someone who survived nuclear fallout? Thought not. And I have my first location to go, and I got a problem again. My first location is full of vampires, which we have previously discussed in groups. I cannot do anything about the vampires. So what do? Simple. It's potion time. A few in mind. A lot of health potions, and some other special secret vials. With my pockets full, I head to Dim Hollow Crypt. Now, I'm not nearly sneaky enough to just walk by, so what can I do? Bust out some invisibility potions, These were the secret vials that I kept secret for so long, and with nearly 8 in hand, I'm able to sneak past every obstacle, skeleton, and vampire, till I reach the main hall, and have to activate an altar in front of a bunch of vampires. Yeah, this gets me killed about as fast as you'd expect. So this time round, I run ahead of the vampires, and complete the animation. Now I just need to rearrange the braziers to finish the puzzle. Really hard when getting chased. So I chug another invis pot and finish the puzzle. And out pops Serana, who helps me fight the vampires, except for the fact that she gets knocked down very early on. I need to tank, but as powerful as the nuclear byproduct that is my body is, I still get liquidated by one swing from a steel dagger. So I gotta do all that again. But this time, I just sneak away, and Serana follows me out. Returning her to her home, I am greeted by the court, and refuse the gift of being a vampire. After getting kicked out, I find my way back to Dawnguard, and I need to recruit some people. This proves far harder than I initially anticipated, as the first guy that I need to help is a Nord by the name of Gunmar, with a bear. Sounds easy enough, except the bear is with a troll, and I leave and grab healing hands, but that doesn't mean anything. Why? Gunmar can only deal so much damage, and the troll has the highest passive health regen in the game, meaning I need to help out in killing him with my 3 damage a second poison rune that can't even hope to put in a dent. That is, if I don't stack it. If I can stack enough poison runes on top of the troll, I just might be able to defeat him. One small issue with that is that I can only use about 2 runes before I need to drink mana potions. So, I set out to gain as many mana potions as I can make. What better way to do that than to bother the local alchemy merchant? And bother I shall do. How bothersome, you may ask? Well, by the time that I reach her, it's around about day 143. And by the time that I purchase my last ingredient, it's day 246. So I've been standing in the middle of her shop for just over 100 days. At least I gave very good business. I make shiploads worth of potions, mainly restore mana, and I get my alchemy to level 50. Returning back, I stack as many runes of poison onto the troll as possible, using some health potions anytime he gets a lucky hit. Both jumping and evading, I'm able to do just enough damage to equal his passive regen. So now, I'm on a time limit. Any poison rune will actually start to chew away at his health now. But if I run out of runes, he will simply heal all of his health back, and I will be left to do more collection. So I stack as fast as possible, holding 2 charges before putting them down in rapid succession, and doing this process for 7 minutes. I had to chug over 40 mana potions to get all of these runes to be stacking, which is kind of perfect because I actually run out of potions. But the troll has little health left, so in the race against time, have I brought enough potions? And just barely do I come out on top. And I'm able to recruit Gunmar. Luckily, the other person I need to recruit is much easier, and I just need to give Serene a Dwemer Gyro from her bag down the river. With that completed and returning to Fort Dawnguard. With the big celebration out of the way, I'm finally able to purchase the spell Sunfire. Now I know how this looks. I know the symbol on the book is a destruction symbol, but it does say right here that it is a restoration spell, and when you learn it, it shows up in the restoration spell list, so it's a restoration spell. Sunfire works like Firebolt, but deals damage exclusively to undead targets, such as vampires. So now, with the only other spell I need acquired, it's time to hunt some targets. I first hunt the non-vampire target. Very easy, just a random orc bard in the tavern called Leberk. But he couldn't figure out how beds worked, so easy pickings. And now, the moment of truth. I sneak into the mill, charge Sunfire, and let it burn. The spell is actually incredible. It's very cheap to cast, and it can be spammed. And I'm able to use the same bed strategy I did for Leberk. Birds of the feathers, something, face the sun, you basement dweller. With that complete, and talking to Astrid, it's now time to talk to Amon Montier, in a dank dungeon of all places. He gives me my target. The Emperor of Tamriel. He gives me a strange amulet, and I report back to the Brotherhood. After reporting, I head to the Ratway to appraise the strange amulet and get a letter of credit from Delvin, and I'm sent on the first assassination. Oh, yeah, I kind of need to lead the Emperor to Skyrim before I can assassinate him. So, what's the easiest way to do that? Why, just assassinate his cousin first. At her wedding. How romantic. I head to Solitude. Turns out interrupting the execution interrupts your subscription to life. So instead I choose to be in the splash zone. Then moonwalk away to the wedding. Having the reception at night. How quirky of you. Meet Dragon Statue. And with another inconspicuous murder, I return to the sanctuary and get to the next target, the Emperor's security group, the Penitus Oculatus. Mainly the member testing security in the main cities. I head to Dragon's Bridge and follow him. I miss him in Solitude somehow, but make it to Windhelm. I wait, but he doesn't enter, so then I just catch him in the old poison snare and lead him into the city. From here, I enact the most sneaky, hidden, and inconspicuous assassination ever seen, by running around the entire city in broad daylight in front of everyone. I'm so inconspicuous, in fact, that I only need to make 5 laps around the city before he died. And by that point, it's the middle of the night. I report back, and it turns out Cicero has attacked and wounded some of the members. I find Cicero's journal. He's hiding in the Dawnstar Sanctuary. I make some potions first, then enter using them to sneak past every single spectre till I find Cicero. I'm presented with either the option to leave him alive or kill him. I've never actually left him alive before, so I decide, why not? First time for everything, I'll do it now, and lie to Astrid that I did in fact kill him. And with that settled, it's time to continue my main contract. I must impersonate a chef called the Gourmet, to sneak into the palace and poison the Emperor. But to do that, I must find him, and to do that, I follow a lead in Markarth, and extract that information out of him. Heading to the Gourmet and finding we're also birds of a feather. Well, you know how that goes. Making my way into Solitude and gaining entry into the kitchen and finally making a meal to die for. I say that, but I don't use the jam root that Astrid gives you like intended. No, I couldn't not use my lovely poison rune. However, it was all a trap. Oh no, who could have seen this coming? Turns out Astrid has betrayed us to keep the Brotherhood the way it was. Really bad reasoning? I mean, like, let's be real now, that's awful, but okay, sure, we'll go with it. Whatever. Dodging the pitiful guards, I run all the way to Morthal before fast traveling to the sanctuary. The whole place is on fire, and no matter how much I heal my friends, they still die. Then I die. But on the second time round, I'm able to help Nazir and escape the fire by retreating into the Night Mother's coffin. I mean, into the lovely field of fireproof flowers. Isn't that convenient? After all this, I still have a job to do. And we're just gonna skip the Astrid segment for now, you know, like flower field and all that. I make my way back to Solitude and escape the guard who doesn't know boundaries. I swim to the Emperor's ship and enter through the anchor point and use my invisibility potions and make it to the Emperor's door. The only thing between me and the end of this questline is a master lock. And with only 16 lockpicks and 4 left, I'm able to break in and come face to face with the Emperor. We have a lovely discussion before I unfortunately need to finish the job. With the Emperor now dead and his clothes mysteriously appearing in my pocket, I decide to honor the Emperor's last wish and kill Montier. He doesn't trigger the runes, but his guard thankfully does. Now with the final contract complete and the money I collected, return to Nazir and quickly upgrade the sanctuary. Now with my master bedroom, I put out everything that has helped me, all of my ingredients and potions. Now I can rest well, knowing that I beat the Dark Brotherhood with only restoration spells. Thank you all so much for watching. This is a really fun one to play, as I've never actually used the Dawn Guard spells before, but I'll definitely be doing it in the next playthrough. If you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, and leave a comment. If you have any suggestions on what I should do next or what you would like to see, let me know. I'm planning to spice it up a bit. Thank you all so much again for watching. I'm BootGobbo, and I'll see you in the next one.